in Granite City, Illinois. We're racing with the HART series tonight as filler for them. This is actually our second night on the season. We went to Macon this past Friday, but we didn't really get much on the cameras, and we weren't anywhere competitive, anything exciting. So I won't be making a video about that one, but I'm glad to be with you guys here for the second night of our season and the first night on the channel here at Tri-City Speedway. We've had a lot of opportunities to come here before, but every time we planned on it, it got canceled for whatever reason. The 410 sprints race on the big oval. I think I want to say it's like a 3/8 mile, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We race on the infield oval that uses part of the front stretch of the big oval. It's one of those infield tracks, and it doesn't have much banking to it. It's really flat all the way around. Just got off the track from hot laps. It looked like they had some rough stuff in 1 and 2, but the rest of the track's just almost like powder. Like it's just real loose stuff, but I think it might be kind of abrasive. So it'll be interesting to see what we do here going forward. We're the first heat race out, and we'll be starting on the outside pole, so hopefully we can just keep it up there and set ourselves up good for the feature coming on later on tonight. Okay, a pretty good night for us here at Tri-City. Sorry I wasn't able to get with you guys after the heat race, but we just were making quite a few adjustments between the heat race and the feature. So I got busy with that and I wasn't able to get to the camera. Heat race wasn't the greatest for us. They had a lot of heavy pack stuff in 1 and 2, and I struggled a little bit through that stuff. Like, I felt like I could have used a little bit more stability through there, but then around the whole rest of the track it just felt like it was spinning the tires and I needed more side bite pretty much just everywhere around the track besides where those heavy clods were. So like I said earlier, it just feels like it's like really dusty, powdery type dirt, and it's all pretty dry too. So at certain points in the feature, even you'll probably be able to see on the camera, it gets pretty dusty. I mean, I would be like driving through a cloud of dust and then see a car spinning on the inside as I'm going by them, you know, stuff like that. It's just a pretty dusty track. So in the heat race, got a good enough start to maintain second, but eventually dropped to third after another restart. Then we got one restart after that and I got a good jump and I made it back to second. So on the initial start in turns 1 and 2, I maintained pretty good down the front stretch, and once I got to turn 1 and 2, I drove it pretty deep into those heavy clods, and I felt like the car did all right through the middle, but then once you get out of those clods, it just washes way out on exit of 2, when the other guy on the inside is like really shortening his line out of 2, and you're spending all that time washing out down the back stretch. So that's how I ended up in second. Then after a restart, one car got to the outside of me, and he was able to get to my outside through 1 and 2 and maintain it too. And then he was able to maintain entry through middle of 3, and then he caught there was some heavy clods on the exit of 4, but it wasn't near as big of clods as it was in 1 and 2, so those never really upset the car, but if you hit them right, you could get a really good launch down the straightaway. And with him being able to maintain all the way up to that point, that launch coming off, he was able to pull me down the front stretch for second. Eventually we got a restart, and he kind of seemed to wash out in that heavy stuff off of 4 for whatever reason. I don't really know. But I was able to cut it down to the inside pretty good, and I got up alongside him, and then I was able to clear him in 1 and 2. The feature wasn't too clean, really. The starts were pretty bad about guys just stacking up and, you know, one guy turning sideways or hopping a left rear, you know, stuff like that. So we started 9th in the feature. Like I said, lots of people hopping each other's left rears, stuff like that, driving into the back of each other. So for the first 3 to 5 laps, I just ran the bottom and tried to figure out a line that would work for me. I was afraid it would be really difficult to pass on the bottom just because I figured everyone would be down there. One restart, one guy drove down the inside, and I don't know. The HART has a little bit different restart rules, but kind of seemed like that guy took off earlier than he was supposed to me. I don't know that for sure, but that's just kind of what it seemed like at the time. Anyway, so he was down on the inside. They were already too wide, and I just drove it in on the top as hard as I could into 1 and 2. And it actually kind of worked for me. Like I said, you still have the drifting out, washing out on the exit of 4 or exit of 2. You still have the washing out on the exit of 2, but with everything I had gained entry to middle on the top, I was kind of able to maintain it. Somehow it got it sorted out, and I ended back up on the bottom, and it's kind of strange for us because usually I'm decent at running the bottom, but I can't ever seem to make a pass on the bottom. But anyway, I started finding my way to the inside of guys and picking them off one at a time down there on the inside. I think a lot of times guys would, you know, start spinning and wash out a little bit on exit, and I was running pretty tight down the straightaways, tighter than anyone else I've noticed that I was racing around, and that helped me pick off quite a few cars. The car it didn't seem like it wanted to hook up as good as I needed it to on exit still, but once it finally did, I felt like I had the power to be able to run it down the straightaway better than a lot of guys. So I think our engine was definitely doing some work for us there, but ended up running third after passing cars just one at a time, being patient. So a pretty good run for us in the feature right there. As always, I have to say a big thanks to all of my partners who make this possible. Big thanks to Nathan Benson Motorsports, G-Force Chassis, Porter Steel Buildings, DDI Fabrication, Sherville Suspensions, and AFD Graphics for everything that all of them do to help us out and make this possible. Thanks to all of you guys for following along with the channel. It really means a lot to me. If you guys have any comments or suggestions or any feedback, be sure to leave it in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear anything that you guys have to tell me. I hope you all enjoyed this one from our first trip to Tri-City Speedway, and I'll see you all for the next one.